On a cool fall dark evening, deep in the shadows of Kentucky. It's Maple Shadows from Sutliff. Yes, friends, we're going to do a quick review on the Maple Shadows. I do hope you were able to get yourself a 8-ounce tin of this. Before we get started, I'm going to show you a quick picture of the blend here. There we go. Pretty looking blend. So, as of last check, Smoking Pipes did not have it in stock again. I heard it sold out in about 12 hours. It was not in stock at Country Squire either. And I imagine some of your small brick and mortar places and maybe some of your other websites might have it. But like I said, Smoking Pipes and Country Squire are both still sold out. Um, I don't know how much they release of this blend. I don't know if it's one of those when it's sold out, it's done, or if they restock it. I really don't know. When this came out last year, I was not currently smoking a pipe. So this is my first opportunity to get it. Now, as I've mentioned before, I think um, I enjoy not only the smell but the flavor of maple. So, for the most part, if there's a maple blend, I'm interested in trying it. However, I'm not a huge fan of Autumn Evening. It's not a bad blend, it's just not one of my favorites. Oh, I'm sorry. Tonight we're smoking this in the Peterson 305 fishtail, not a P-lip. So, this blend is made up of Burley, Virginia's Black Cavendish, and of course, dark fired Kentucky, along with a maple topping, hence the name Maple Shadows. And I have to say, I think they may have kind of used a play on words here because the maple is not the most dominant flavor in this. It's kind of in the shadows. Um, I'm not a big aromatic smoker these days, but when I do, I like an aromatic blend that has, I want to be able to taste the tobaccos with it. Um, I don't want just a heavily topped um aromatic blend. I want to taste the topping, but I also want to taste the tobacco too. And this is exactly what that is. Now, this is not the first time I've smoked this. I think this is my third bowl, I think, of this. And I like it. I like it a lot. Like I said, the maple is pretty subdued, pretty mild. Um, it is a very well done blend, as from what I've found from Sutliff, most of their blends seem to be. Um, Sutliff does seem to use pretty good quality leaf from what the Sutliff blends that I've had. Um, I've never really had anything that was bad from Sutliff. So the dark fire Kentucky in this is not overwhelming, which is good. Um, I enjoy dark fire Kentucky in a blend but I don't want it to overpower the blend. Um, it is a nice addition, in my opinion, but I like it to complement a blend, not overpower it. And that's what this does. Um, so I get that kind of nutty earthiness out of the burley. Um, I'm getting ready to brag on how it stays lit really good. So I get that nutty, earthy flavor out of the burley. Um, get that smoky, kind of that smoky barbecue from the Dark Fire Kentucky, and you still get a little bit of that grassiness, and from the and just a hair of citrus out of the Virginia. Um, it's interesting at times. At times, the citrus comes out more than others. Sometimes you don't even notice it at all, and then you might get a puff later on in it and kind of get a little bit of burst of citrus out of it, which I like. I personally like that a lot in a blend, especially with burley blends. The dark fire is definitely more of a. It's not in the front whatsoever. It's complements it very well, um, but it's definitely noticeably there. Um, what's interesting about this blend, and I've tried to read a little bit on it from tobacco reviews and just other people's reviews and stuff on this. One thing I kind of feel like I pick up in this, and I can't figure out what it is. There's a spicy note in this, and I can't figure out if it's coming from the Dark Fire Kentucky or if there's something else in here that's not listed. It's almost not a spicy like a perique at all, but it's more of a spicy, almost like a spice, like a cinnamon or something. Um, there's nothing mentioned about that. There's no mention of the of cinnamon or any other kind of spice in here, but there's definitely something in there, just a little bit of a spice. Um, and it's definitely not perique, but it's very very mild. I mainly get it when I do kind of a harder draw on it. I don't get any kind of bite out of this at all. Of course, I don't really deal with. I've never really had an issue with tongue bite, so that may not mean much coming from me. The nicotine level on this, I would say, is probably between a mild and a medium, a little more than your average blend, but not anything major. It's one of them. If you get to puffing pretty good, you kind of pick up on it. It'll kind of sneak up on you a little bit, but not heavily. I'd probably say, like I said, kind of in between a mild and a medium. It seems to burn pretty cool. I've noticed, like the other night, I was out here smoking it, and I was puffing on it pretty good. That's how I found out the nicotine was a little higher. But excuse me. But I noticed it burns kind of cool. It doesn't burn that hot, and it burns kind of slow, which is good. as as always, this like I said, I've never had a bad blend that I've tried out from Sutliff. I'm not saying that they don't have bad blends, just the ones I've tried have not been bad. Um, but it, just like most of the other Sutliff blends I've tried, it's blended very well. I actually think that I'm gonna call it kind of a hint of maple. The maple, like I said, is not strong at all. It's like I said, I kind of think it's a little bit of a play on words here, maple shadows, and the maple kind of seems to be a little bit of a shadow to it. It's definitely not a. Some people, honestly, if you didn't know it had maple in it, you may not pick up that it's maple. Uh, I have moments where the maple comes through pretty good, but I really think if you didn't know there was maple in this, a lot of people wouldn't notice, would not know that it's what it was. But I actually feel that the maple and the dark fire Kentucky uh, blend complement each other very well. Um, you may not think that maple and that smoky barbecue dark fire Kentucky kind of go together, but they do. At least in this, they do. It's not a complex blend at all. Um, it's just a well blended blend. I feel like I can. I feel like I can pick out everything that's in it. As far as like I said, the earthy nuttiness out of the burleys, um, the little bit of grassy and citrus out of the Virginias, and the smoky barbecue out of the dark fired, and then that slight maple topping. Uh, yeah, the maple in this is very like right there. I got a little more maple at that time, but for the most part, the maple is very mild in this. I really really like how the tobacco flavors come through, and the maple doesn't override that. I like that a lot. I personally would take this any day over autumn evening. I really, I really like this. Like I said, if I'm going to smoke an aromatic, I want to taste the tobacco with it. I don't want the topping to drown it out. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable blend, very much. So I hope you were able to get your hands on some of this. If you weren't, hopefully somebody will have it back in stock. Like I said, I'm sure some of your smaller brick and mortar places and websites might have some in stock. Um, I honestly, maybe somebody can comment below. I don't know if they just run this until it sells out and don't restock it, or if they restock it. I honestly don't know how much of this they release, but I think it's, especially if you enjoy maple or dark fire Kentucky, I think it is definitely worth picking up. If nothing else, it's worth picking up for the tin art. It's a pretty label they put on here. Yeah, the wife said we got to keep the can because she likes the way it looks. But yeah, it's definitely worth picking up. I would definitely give it a try if you have an opportunity. I enjoy it. I will definitely be jarring some of this up and cellaring it for sure. Anyway, like I said, it's not a very complex blend. It's just a well done blend. Well, I don't even say very complex. It's not complex at all. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. Hmm. But friends, I'm gonna sit out here and enjoy the evening, and I'm gonna finish this bowl off. And I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope everybody's staying safe from the hurricane coming through. And we shall see you very soon on another Gentry Vintage video. But until next time, I wish blessings for all and lots of luck to you and yours.